Dianabol. When you start researching about anabolic steroids, the first thing that you come across on the internet is Dianabol. Dianabol will allow you to gain an insane amount of muscle in very little time. It is not as toxic on the liver as a lot of people attribute it to be. And boy, oh boy, are you in for a surprise if you think you can't give you good results even in a standalone cycle. But the granddaddy of anabolic steroids, as it is fondly called, is a Ducati Veyron. You better know to drive before you can even touch it with a barge pole, lest you want to crash with a permanently damaged HPTA axis and the worst testosterone shutdown in your life. Here are some of the facts and myths about Dianabol. What is Dianabol? Dianabol perhaps has the most interesting origin of all steroidal compounds. It was not created for therapeutic use. Instead, the sole purpose was to give US athletes an edge over their Soviet counterparts, who were on a rampage in the Olympics courtesy of their affinity towards exogenous testosterone. Dr. John Zeitger, an American researcher, created an altered form of test that would act faster and was less androgenic, which would prevent some of the undesirable side effects. Dianabol was born, and the world was never the same again. The anabolic rating is close to 300, while the androgenic rating is 60. It is also one of the fastest acting steroids of all time. Just like Winstrol, it is available for oral ingestion and as an injectable, but it is the oral version that is more popular. Coming back to the origin of Dianabol, US athletes hit the Soviets right out of the park when they were on Dianabol. Dosage and half-life. Dianabol has one of the shortest half-lives among steroidal drugs. It's 3 to 5 hours, so you'll have to split your daily dose into multiple time doses throughout the day. Results are highly dose-specific. Most average gym goers can get great results with 15 mg a day split into 3 doses. If you can tolerate 15 mg a day without too many side effects, you can go up to 25 mg a day. Bodybuilders and seasoned athletes can tolerate up to 50 mg a day with manageable side effects, but we wouldn't recommend that dose unless you've used Dianabol before. Professional bodybuilders may use up to 100 mg a day, but you will definitely experience side effects at that dose. A typical Dianabol cycle lasts up to 12 weeks, but most users use it during the beginning of a cycle as a kickstarter to trigger fast mass gain while the injectable steroids kick in. Dianabol and results. What to expect? Most users start to feel the effects in the first week itself. By week 2, you're looking fuller, lifting harder and feeling better than you ever did. Imagine something that's 3 times more anabolic than testosterone kicking in at that pace. The results are pretty dramatic. Mass gain. Dianabol is one of the most commonly used anabolic compounds in a mass gaining cycle. With a calorie surplus diet and some hard lifting, you can easily gain up to 20 pounds in a 4-week cycle. However, any muscle mass gained at that pace will have some amount of water weight, which you may lose once you go off cycle. Hence, it is recommended that you have a strong foundation to begin with before you use Dianabol. Strength gain. Dianabol will make you strong, and before you even realise, you'll be lifting the heaviest weights that you have ever touched. Many athletes use Dianabol purely for the added strength, but the rapid muscle gains were a deterrent for some. If you don't care a hoot about increased mass, then Dianabol is one of the best steroids for strength gains. It is rarely used in a cutting cycle. Despite being a potent mass gainer, that's because of the water weight and the fullness that it gives, which can be detrimental to anyone looking for a dry, vascular look. Dianabol and side effects. Dianabol is one of the most powerful steroids of all times, and with great power comes the risk of side effects. At low doses, Dianabol will only produce mild side effects that can be easily managed or countered, but at performance-enhancing doses, 25 to 35 mg a day, it may produce some nasty side effects. Gynecomastia. Dianabol can cause gyno, and in many users it almost happens before they can realise. That's partly because, unlike other steroids which get aromatized into estradiol, Dianabol will automize into methotrexate, a more powerful form of the hormone. High blood pressure. Dianabol will cause water retention, and anything that retains water in the body can lead to high blood pressure. If you have hypertension to begin with, then you'd have to give Dianabol a miss. Cholesterol. Dianabol is taxing on your lipid levels. To add to it, aromatase inhibitors like letrozole are added to the cycle to prevent aromatization and estrogenic side effects. This combination can be severely detrimental to your cholesterol levels. Not only can it increase LDL levels, it can also decrease HDL levels. It is highly recommended that you monitor your cholesterol levels while using Dianabol. Suppression. Dianabol will shut you down, and you will need a full-fledged PCT to restore your body's natural testosterone production. By the time your body's natural testosterone is restored, you might lose all the gains you made during the cycle. That's why Dianabol is always stacked with testosterone. Hepatotoxic. Like most orals, Dianabol can make your liver values go haywire, but its hepatotoxicity is not as severe as it's touted to be. It can be controlled with proper supplementation. Standalone or in a stack? While Dianabol only cycles were common in the heydays of bodybuilding, it is rarely used today. Most users would stack it with an injectable, like testosterone, or use it as a kickstarter during the first few weeks of a cycle.